And this functionality now, oops, up to here, belong to within this agent. But now what's wrong here? All right, this is wrong. All right, this is wrong, and this needs to be returned. Return await and task, and then you know what, I'm returning an integer right here. I want to return the updated how about that, the updated person ID, huh? That's nice. So that's what's going to get returned eventually, I hope. All right, so it is bitching to me, of course, integer update. All right, so return, oops, public return await agent. Okay, so that's fine. So where is the problem? Where is the problem? Public static assign task integer update. I don't see any problem. Let me see. Call to string. No, that's not a problem. I think this is a function. Alright. Well, this is the okay, wait. Function current transaction. Oh, okay. Capture span. Capture span. This is what you need to do. Capture span. All right. You can also start span. It's sort of, it works the same way as capturing the span of a started transaction. Okay. So you need to experiment with all of this, but pretty much they will give you information and insights about the operations within your functions and methods. Okay, so that's about it right here. And on the delete, I'd like to throw an exception, which I've done. I apologize. Okay, and the get persons, I would like to keep it just like that, unused. All right, so I believe we're done. All I have to do is call await transactions dot capture transactions. All right, and then another await transactions dot delete transactions. You see how, all right, this is really becoming very interesting right here. You see, you have some objects. I will not separate the classes into new files. You can do it on your side, but I'd like to keep them like that, just for the overview. And I will say console just to stop the console during execution. And I'd like to show you that there are no services at this point, right? But then when I start now this, fingers crossed, I hope it works. Let's see. And what happens? All right, obviously we'll get something printed out because I used console write line a few times. All right, so let's see what gets executed here. Oops, to prevent, alright, something happened that we're allowed to run this may, okay, so there must be some issues somewhere. Alright, how about this? I'm calling those, but configure await false. Alright, so keep that in mind. So this is to avoid these cross-thread issues. Configure await false. Okay, and let's give it a try again. Right. Okay, now it works. All right, perfect. There we go. Now you learned something about threading right here, cross-threading, and how to manipulate with all of this. So these are my methods, right, from the person object class. Okay, and this is what we're calling through the transaction concrete class from the main method. All right. Okay, so the insert person, we're starting a transaction and we're catching it at the end and we're ending it. Then we're capturing transaction during the update process, and then during the delete process we're still capturing a transaction. So experiment with this and the respective capture span or start span functionality to see what the difference is. I have not found that much of a difference, but it's gotta be something probably once you get deeper into your software development. But the idea now is to observe what's really happening, and what's really happening here is we're coming to APM, right? And voila, here is our application. So this is my application, right? Let's go back to, there we go. So Elastic Agent.NET Core, am I right? Yeah, that's it. And so it is running. Imagine that it's running on your testing site maybe, or maybe on your client side. And then whatever your users are doing, it gets monitored and recorded right here. So in my case, I do not have much of operations at this point, but on your site you might have a lot of things, okay? From databases to, I already said the databases are covered, right? And through this automated process of integration, just check my previous email, session, so that you can see what's really monitored basically by just using this automation, which I just showed you, which is really very easy to use, but very, very helpful. Now, you can see that we have one error, right? Now, this is an intentional error, which has happened when we started the software, right? But now imagine it gives you lots of information right here, the line of code and so on. So the development team, you can create a task, for example, immediately and just solve this issue on the fly. Which is very easy, right? So that's about it. So imagine that this was an exception that was caused by the system. Now you would have had right here all of the information required for this exception to be pointed out and solved. This is the metadata, when it occurred, what is it, blah blah blah, a lot of other valuable information about where did it come from, what host, where is the application ran, and a lot of other things which you might be interested in. But that's in general about errors. So transactions, this is how we monitor transactions. Now this is